welcome to Good Game Well Played, I'm Rad. Due to popular demand, Higgins is off shooting a show which I can only assume is about eating, on a network that shall remain nameless. Thus you get to hang out with me, old mate Radley. Later on in the show, we'll be bringing you all the speed and precision of competitive OS, but first, the news. If I resemble a ghoul, it's because the Dota 2 Manila Major has kicked off, bringing day after day of 12-hour-long pro Dota broadcasts directly into my eyes. I love it, but I hate it. It's killing me. I gotta watch it all. The main event kicked off with a disco version of the theatre show Stomp, including a wailing lady. Esports. There were major upsets, with EG, Wings, and Secret being knocked out in day one. Mineski were also eliminated, but we all saw that coming. Basically, everyone that Nick Boy has been going for has been eliminated. He's cursed, I tell you. Cursed! Speaking of Dat Boy, Nick Boy and I will be breaking down all the highs and lows of the Manila Major after it wraps up over the weekend, so make sure you tune in for that. I just love Dota! In HOTS news, Super League 2 has just come to a close. MVP Black were not able to continue their golden run of almost 40 match wins, coming a paltry second place to Tempest, despite beating them in the semi-finals. Tempest fought through lower bracket to take the grand finals 4-0 in a best of 7, walking away with almost 82,000 Australian dollars. Pretty impressive for a team that only formed this season. And now we see what else is on the cards, the Hearthstone cards, with the Hearthstone Spring Championship that starts in the next few days. Europe will be kicking things off, followed by Asia Pacific and Americas. Each region has 8 players competing in a best of 7 single elimination bracket, with the winner getting almost 34,000 Australian dollars and a spot at the 2016 Hearthstone World Championship. Put it in your calendars and then pull up a chair by the hearth. It's a busy night, but there's always room for another. And in a competition that resembles neither the Olympics nor a Miss Universe pageant, which are my only other 2 frames of reference for global competition, the Oscatch World Cup is underway. The quarterfinals continue to whittle down the 16 teams in a rhythmic battle for world dominance. Germany, the US, Argentina, and Indonesia are playing in the upper bracket this weekend, while a number of other teams, all of which have the word loser next to them, will continue to fight it out in the pits of the lower bracket. Australia didn't make it to the group stages, but I can only assume that's because we're too good, right? Right, guys? What's that? You've never heard of us before? Well then, why don't we go on a learning excursion together? Or as I like to call them, a Learnscursion. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up, it's us time! With the world of esports dominated by multi-million-dollar scenes such as Dota and CSGO, it's easy to forget about niche games that scratch that competitive itch. These games more than any other rely on their communities to host viable competitions. One such game is OS, a free rhythm game originally developed for PC, which has now been ported to OS X, iOS, Android, and Windows Phone. Its gameplay is based off games like OS Tatake Uendan and Elite Beat Agents. OS revolves around game levels named beat maps, and conceptually it's pretty simple. A song will play, whilst different rhythmic hit elements pop up, which players then have to manipulate in time with the beat, with a few different game types available. But this isn't normal level tapping along. Like most things esports, competitive OS takes it to the next mother flippin' level! Woo! It's insanely fast, with a ridiculous level of accuracy involved. It's a frantic show of colors and lights that demands ultra-fast reflexes and even faster hands. Just watching the pros play fills me with a deep sense of inadequacy in knowing that I will probably never be as good at anything as they are at tapping circles to the beat. Damn you guys. I can't do anything and you guys do this like amazingly. But what makes OS really special is its relatively small yet dedicated community. With over 8 million registered users and an enormous database of user-created beat maps, it's a game that allows players to get involved at every level. The World Cup, OS's biggest tournament of the year, brings OS communities from across the globe together. You'll see no big stadiums, no fancy set pieces or light shows, just pure competition organised by people who really love OS. Interestingly, individual players have no actual interaction with each other. Everyone's scores are added together to determine the team's score. So it only takes one scrub to destroy an entire team. You can't swoop in and save your teammate. The size of your backpack is of no relevance here. You can't carry anyone to victory. This forces top-notch, consistent play from everyone in order to win. And typically countries such as Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and China dominate. Though the US did take gold at last year's World Cup in a tense final against China. This year's prize pool hovers around 5,000 Australian dollars, so it's not big money by any means. But it's the love, dedication, and undeniable skill of Aus players that makes for a really charming competitive scene with a whole lot of rhythm. I'm joined now by one of Australia's highest level players, in fact, the highest level player, Tokichii. How's it going? How are you?
Hi, good, thanks. You?
I'm good, thanks. So how did you get involved in Aus?
Well, my friend in high school introduced me to Aus. Just thought that I would enjoy the game. And yeah, so eventually I got really into it and I couldn't quit at all.
And how long have you been playing for?
6 years.
So you would have seen the game and its community grow quite a lot in that time.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when like the game got featured on like streams of famous like League players and other games.
One thing that tends to be really common with smaller competitive scenes is that there's a lot of games put on, but not necessarily very big tournaments. So Aus is a community where a lot of players set up tournaments, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Basically all the tournaments are set up by players except the Aus World Cup, which is set up by the staff. So there's some that's for like rank 1 to like 1,000, and there's some that for the 5-digit players and 6-digit players, and they just want to have fun. Everyone just wants to join in. Basically the community is everything, because like without the community the game wouldn't exist.
Well, we can't have a top player in the office without seeing how it's done. So is it okay if you play some of us?
Yeah, sure.
Show me the ropes. Show me those quick hands.
Okay.
So we're now going to see the difference between a pro and an absolute scrub, but how hard could it be, right? Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Concentrating so hard that my eyes are starting to water, and I'm not even getting it. I'm a D so far, but I think I can get it above 50%. Bad. It doesn't pull any punches, does it?
Oh,
Is it I did so bad that it's kicking me out?
Oh no, it's just like you failed because the HP bar.
Well, thank you so much for showing me how it's done, and all the best for the next World Cup.
Thank you.
Well, that is it for Well Played this week. What did you think of the profile on a lesser-known esport? Let me know in the comments below, or if you know of a gaming community that deserves a little love, hit me up. Don't forget to catch our Spawn Point Fantasy Special this Saturday morning on ABC3, where Bard Joe, Ranger Hex, and Dwarf King Darren face off against the evil Goosemancer. And you can keep watching all of Good Games content on YouTube and iView. You can keep hanging out with me by following me on Twitter @UngharadYo, or until next time, don't be toxic on the internet. Right out!